Hello, I'm Philip Brunelle, Artistic Director and founder of Vocal Lessons and Organist Choirmaster at Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. Each day I take a different composer to speak about, and today it is Claude Debussy, the great French composer. I have to start with a story about Debussy. Obviously, I never knew him, born in 1862, died in 1918. But when I came to Plymouth Church, there was a member of the choir in the alto section, Elaine Hubbard, who had known a man named David McKay Williams, who studied in Paris during the time that Debussy was there. So she said, when you're in New York, please get in touch with him. So I called David, and we got together, and as we started talking about what was it like in France in those years, right after the First World War. And he said, well, I was at that first performance of The Rite of Spring. And I was like, you're kidding, you were there. Yes, he said, I was in the box next to Puccini and Debussy. And I said, you saw them? And he looked at me and said, oh yes, that's not unusual, but why were they together? Such diverse styles. That's my first story about Debussy, the great composer. Of course, he's regarded as the first impressionist composer, though he himself rejected that term. In the early days of his composing, he would use sometimes ideas that were Russian or Far Eastern in terms of sound. At age 10, he was admitted to the Paris Conservatoire. It's amazing, that young. He, of course, also was a composer who many others emulated in some ways. People like Bartók, Messiaen, and the jazz pianist Bill Evans. He wrote orchestra music, and of course at the time that he was writing this music, it was a new style, and not everyone was excited about what he was doing. He composed some choral music, not a lot, but he wrote a piece which we did in a performance with the chorus and ensemble singers at the St. Paul Cathedral. The Blessed Damozel. It's a beautiful piece. It was a text of Rossetti. I'm just going to play the beginning, which is the orchestral introduction, a beautiful, lovely kind of thing, which you can imagine in the St. Paul Cathedral was elegant to hear. Then the chorus comes in. It's a wonderful piece, and you can imagine at the St. Paul Cathedral how gorgeous that kind of sound would be. So I love the fact that Debussy also composed, we did a number of piano pieces like the Pour le piano, but he wrote a set of 6 pieces for his son. And it says here, written with tender excuses from your father for you to play. Here is just a little bit of one of them. This one's called The Little Shepherd. Have a wonderful day.